What's up, guys? Welcome back into the Millennial Profit. My name's Adam and I'm a full-time reseller. If you're new here, I show you all different kinds of ways to make money. So if you like money, hit that subscribe button. Today I've got another what's sold on eBay video for you guys. I've actually been on vacation for like the last 5 days. It's currently Wednesday morning. We left for vacation on like Saturday, just a short trip down to Tennessee to see my grandma. So all of these sales are on vacation mode. There'll be a couple Amazon sales that came in overnight, but I've had my Amazon off the whole time. You kind of can't play the vacation game like you can on eBay because Amazon buyers expect to get everything fast. So I just turned my listings off on there instead of increasing the handling time. And then on eBay, I turned on vacation mode. So it said this seller is away until this date and he'll ship that day, and that day is today. So not necessarily passive income, but it's pretty darn close because I've already done all the work and listed all this stuff. All I have to do is pack it up, and I was able to make all of these sales over vacation. So let's show you everything that's sold, how much I paid for it, where I got it, and at the end of the video, I will talk about the total profit I made while on vacation. Holy moly, guys. Oh my gosh. Normally I'd say what a weekend, but what a vacation worth of sales. Just gathered everything up. For anyone that doubts, let's come here to the numbers on eBay, not Wednesday. Here's one account, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Here's the account that really went off. Friday, there might even be a couple Fridays in there because I did it Friday afternoon. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Absolutely insane, guys. Let's go over everything that's sold. Starting off with some of my not so great buys, but when I was getting into cleats, and now I'm kind of getting out of cleats, but most of these were like $20 at Ross or Burlington. Sold these for $50 on eBay. 50 and 50 on all those, I'm pretty sure. Next, we've got these Merrell shoes here that were from Academy's extra 75% off clearance event. So about $17 on those. Sold them for $70. Before we get into the hats, let's come over here to, oh my goodness, I got stuff everywhere. Let's go here. Someone bought 2 of these jerseys for $100 total, and I actually got these from Dick's Sporting Goods. They're players that aren't on the team anymore. This one is DeBrusque, and that is Marchand. So I got this one for $10. It's women's, and this one for $15. Absolutely crazy. And normally I don't get players that aren't still on the teams, but that was too good of prices on these. These are like $200 jerseys stitched, so I had to pick those up, and someone bought 2 of them for $100. Next, I got this from Dick's Warehouse sale. I think I showed this a couple videos ago. Oh, it doesn't have the tag on it, but one of them I showed a couple videos ago that had the tag on it. Those were like $14 in the extra 75% off Dick's Warehouse sale event, and sold that one for $48. Then this was $5 in a wholesale deal I did with someone last summer. I'm always picking up winter stuff in the summer stuff in the winter. And then funny enough, I sold it in the summer, $20. So I paid $5 each for those. These weren't a great buy, but they're actually selling pretty well volume. I got these over the winter. Again, buying summer stuff in the winter. I got these for $10 each, just getting $25 for those a pop. Ohio State bucket hats. They don't weigh anything, so they're 4 ounces. This we called out in bread and butter. These were $10. This was like a couple years ago. 2X, so going to take a while to sell in. Whoever is wearing those, I don't really want to picture that. But sold those for $28. Then under them, we got a toolkit I got from my supplier for $10. Sold it for $30 on Mercari. Then we've got this from that wholesale deal we did in flipping from zero. $6 each on those, getting $28 on eBay. Next, I'm trying to get out of clothing, but kind of just selling through the clothing that I have. This was actually from Gabe's. It's a Gonzaga dress shirt. Gabe's used to have some really good sports apparel. Really cheap. This was $3.99. Just sold it for $17.99 on eBay. This was actually recent from Academy's end of winter clearance event. We got an Ohio State Atlanta bound shirt that was $5. Sold it for $20. These were from Kohl's. Looks like I already took the tag off, but that was the video probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, where I got a ton of jeans for like $6 to $8. I got $38 for those. This was also from Gabe's, $3.99. That's kind of just what they priced their sports apparel at for the time being. Years ago, literally like probably 3+ years ago. Just got $20 for that. We got this tumbler here from Walmart after Christmas clearance. So that was like $1.50, if that. I think it was like $1.24, and getting $17.99 for those. Those sell really well during Christmas. Same event here. This was $1 or $2. It is slightly over a pound, so that's where most of my profit goes. Sold it for like 17 or 18 bucks. Next, we've got a tower of shoes. I think all of these are from Kohl's. So extra 50% off of the tag. So $22.50 on these boots, sold them for $70. $21 on these high streets, and sold those ones for $65. Paid $30 for these Currys, sold them for $65. $20 for these Cole Haans, sold them for $70. $30 for these Currys, sold them for $65. These next two were online, so I actually called a couple of these out in the group. We got these pickleball shoes that were $25, sold them for $65. We've got these dailies, size 14. I love the big sizes because you don't have much competition. Those were $25, sold them for $60. These were $26 for these initiators, sold them for $65. $22 on these Nike Revolutions. And then lastly on top, we got some Nike Court Visions that were $23, and sold those for $60. Coming over here, some more Kohl's online clearance. Another thing we called out, these were $15 backpacks. I think Delco called those out, so shout out to him. Selling them for $45 a piece. We knew come summer, come back to school here soon, these would sell really well, and they are doing pretty well. Then we got these two things from Flipping from Zero, just from the bins. Sold this for 10 bucks, sold that for 20. We got these, called out the Crocs 2 for $50 clearance event. So those were $25 each, selling them for $25 a pop. Over here, we've got some Amazon hats. Again, I just turned Amazon back on, so we'll have to wait a little bit to hear the... I had to get this at the bins. I'm going to be using and abusing this in the videos. So first we got this Brewers hat that was $8 at TJ Maxx, and sold that on Amazon for $30. And then this was from TJ Maxx for $15. Had to frickin' pay up for that, but sold it for $36. And then this was actually from Academy's latest clearance event they just had a couple weeks ago that we called out in the group. Those were $12 each and getting $39 a piece on Amazon. And these three were from wholesale deals, so like $12 each. So this one for $35, $30, $30. Got a couple of bucket hats here. This was from Dick's Warehouse sale, extra 75% off event, so $2.50 there, and just sold it for like $17. We got this Red Blacks hat that was in a hat wholesale deal I did a while back, where I was getting them for like $1 or $2 when I had a plug. These two rows are from the $10 hat sale, as well as these two hats. So sold this one for $35, $30 on this one. This was actually free from Kohl's with my Kohl's cash. Sold it for $35. Again, $10 hat sale for these next two rows. These were all 10 bucks. Sold it for $28. Sold it for $35, $30, $35, $30, $38, $35, $30, $32, $32, $30, $30 on all these tops. Very cool collection there. $32 on these Detroit Tigers City editions. And then this row here is all from the Snipes $10 hat sale that they had recently that we called out in the group. Sold this one for $40. $40 on this one. Same person bought one of these as well, these USA Basketball A-frames. Then sold another USA Basketball A-frame for $40. Got $40 for the Sharks, $40 for the Dodgers World Series, and $45 for the All-Star game. Next, we've got some random hats here, so all from different places. This was from Academy, extra 75% off event, so $5 for a visor, sold it for $20. We got the Padres here, that was from online somewhere. I think it was like 12 bucks, sold it for $30 on Mercari. This was from Dick's Sporting Goods online. It was $10 for a Big League Chew Red Sox hat. These were from Academy online. They were $8 each. For Alabama Nike hats, cannot beat that. Sold this one for $30 and $30 on each of the camos. This was 5 bucks online and sold it for I think 22 on Mercari. This one sold on eBay as well for 28. I actually called these out in the group. They were 10 bucks from, I think, Urban Outfitters. These two were from Marshalls or TJ Maxx. $4 on that one. Sold it for 25 on eBay. And then we've got $6 on that one. Sold it for 25 on eBay as well. If I didn't specify where I sold something, it was likely eBay, just FYI. This was from Fanatics clearance event. It was like 5 bucks. Sold it for $17.99. This was from the Miami Heat's shop. It was 5 bucks, sold it for 30. From the college football playoff shop, this was 5 bucks, sold it for 18. This was from one of those $1 to $2 hat wholesale deals that I used to get. Just sold it for $17.99. This one, we actually called these out in the group. They were 10 bucks. I'm getting 30 on eBay. $35 on Amazon. This is from one of those $5 hat wholesale deals I did. I think it was in the same one as that. I just got $17.99 for it. This is from Dick's Warehouse sale. Extra 75% off event. So about $3.75 or so. Sold it for $20. And then we've got the 45s hat that I got online. I don't remember where. One of those clearance events for like $10. Sold it for $28. So now that everything's gathered up, I'm going to get everything packaged up and get you guys the final numbers. Holy moly. All right, let's run down those final numbers. On eBay, we sold 84 items for $3,560. On Amazon, we sold 3 items for $105. And on Mercari, we sold 3 items for $86, as well as Shopify. I had some reseller boxes and wholesale going out from mpmerch.com that I'm going to include in here as well. 3 of those sold for $305 for a total of 93 packages going out for $4,056. And as always, to get our total net profit, we need to take out all of our costs. So take out our cost of goods sold, $1,036, our shipping, $481, and our fees of $506 to give us some total net profit over these 4.5 days of $2,033 over a nice little short vacation. Cannot beat that. That is just over 50% margins. Typically I'm between 40 and like 50%. So that's awesome that we're towards that higher end, especially here in the middle of summer. To be able to make all of these sales during vacation is crazy. And then if you divide that out by 4.5 days, it's $451 per day. Again, it's not completely passive income because I do have to pack it up. I did have to list it all, but it was all that money able to come in while I was vacationing, and then a little work when I get back and it gets to hit the bank account. As always, all honor and glory goes to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I am nothing without him, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this as a full-time job and to be able to share it with you all. If you heard me mention a couple times in this video, Bread and Butter, that's my personal Discord leads group and community. You can check that out. First link in the description. 7-day free trial currently going on if you want to get in there and play around and see what all we have to offer. Keep hustling, guys. Q4 is right around the corner. I'm honestly so blessed to be able to make this many sales in the summer. I don't know if I've ever had a summer this good, and I also don't know if I've ever had this much inventory. So Q4 is going to be a movie. Keep stacking that inventory, the liquidation events and everything we're calling out in Bread and Butter. They're going crazy right now. It's time to stack that inventory and go crazy this Q4. There's money to be made everywhere, guys. Let's go get it. Thank you for watching The Millennial Prophet.